Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome back to our Chavruta sessions live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg of the Noahide World Center. We're just waiting on the Rabbi to show up in the Google Meets, our new format rather than using Zoom. We started last week with Google Meets, and so it's nice to see some of our regulars in the class today. So let's just jump in and say hello to everybody. Shalom. I see we've got our friend Vincent, Patrick, Martina, Helen, Bart, and Jacob. Sorry you missed last week, Jacob, but Jacob messaged me this morning. I sent him the link. Always good to have Jacob with us. He's in France, I believe, at the moment. We're just waiting on the Rabbi to show. He's marked this down for the 05. Oh, he just showed up in the class, so that's always good. I'll pin him into the big screen. Still getting used to this, learning this interface. There we go. Shalom, Rabbi. We're already streaming, so whenever you are ready, Rabbi, we'll turn the class over to you. You're frozen at the moment, but... Yes, I see you got a CG background. That's nice, an office, so that's cool. All right, Rabbi, I've already did the intro, so I'll turn the class over to you, Rabbi.
Excellent. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good to see you all. Hopefully everything is fine with everybody. Just let me change this annoying here is. Let me change it for a moment. This. Now you can see me. Right. Oh, now you can see me. Everything is fine. Good to see you. Good to see you all. I think that the camera is good, right? Camera is good. Can you hear me fine? Everything is fine. Excellent. So I'm sorry for my lateness. You can't even imagine how many it's like a thunderstorm, in Israel. Every 2 or 3 hours we have something here. It could be a terror attack, it could be something that happened in the army, it could be something that we did in Lebanon. I don't know if you heard, but in Lebanon we killed one of the main people that are from the Hezbollah that is for the last 30 years is doing a lot of damage to Israel. And also the prime minister in Lebanon, he didn't neglected us. He didn't said anything bad about the Israel because it's someone that also did for them a lot of damage. But this is everything here. Since then, there are another 2 issues. All the time, things are happening here. Wow, unbelievable. Okay, let's dive inside. Let's learn. First of all, I have a question. If someone have any questions or something that he wants to raise up, if not, we're going to start to learn inside straight ahead. Yes, please. Everything is clear for everybody. You're all so shy tonight. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Fair enough. Not a problem at all. So let's go. So let's dive inside and let's learn something. I was dealing in the last 2 weeks with very interesting questions that came to me from the Noahide people. And the truth is that I'm not 100% sure that I know all the English words about this phenomenon, this thing that's happening. But I understand that it's something that is really profound for those who are going outside from the Christian background, okay? And it's a question about how exactly to try to find, I will say, the future. With whom are we relying? Where are we going? Where are we searching those things? Now, one of the most, I will say, curious things that people have. First of all, curiosity. Okay, that people have have a lot of curiosity to understand, to learn things that they don't know, or that others are saying. Just a moment, I will close the book. I think that this is something that we need to learn how to deal with. Okay, because a lot of times people want to know now everything, and it will take time. Wait another 2-3 days, and you will know what's happening. Okay, and people want to know now. Now, live the now. Live, be alive with what's happening now, and don't try all the time to live the future. One of the most, I will say, hardest things that we have, when we are kids, we want to be teenagers. When we are teenagers, we want to be students. When we are students, we want to be married. When we are married, we want to be with kids. When we have kids, we want to be that they will be old. When they are old, we want to be, and people are not living their life. People are living all the time the future, what they want to be, what will happen then. But you need also to live what you have now. You need to be to live with the blessings that you have now. And the curiosity that people have a lot of times is pushing them to try to find answers, what to do and how to do, with going to places that are not really reliable, but they're giving some sort of a comfort for people because all sorts of reasons. We'll call it like that. Okay, but it's not reliable. It's not really reliable. Okay, there is in our parsha that we read yesterday, there is a definition for Esau and a definition for Jacob. Let me show the screen for a moment. Let me do it. I'm sorry that it wasn't. In a moment, it will be on the screen. There is a definition, but as usual, okay, when we are trying to define things in the Bible, let me share the screen. Just a moment. Here it is. Let me share the screen. When we are trying to define things in the Bible, if I will share only this, excellent. Now you can see this, and I can see all of you. Yeah. Let me jump there for a moment, so I will organize it in the right place. Just a moment. Here it is. In chapter 25. Dan, can you see this? Everybody can see that?
Yeah, yes. I can see it, Rabbi.
Okay, so we have the generations of Isaac and Abraham, okay? And God is basically saying to Rebecca, only to Rebecca, that there are going to be two, okay? And he's also telling her, okay, God is saying only, as it says here, okay, to her, to Rebecca, not to Isaac, that those two, one of them is always going to be, America is going to be great, so the Israel nation can't defeat finally, the enemies. And if the Israelite is going to be great, so the America is not going to be great, okay? This is what is being said to Rebecca. But then when they're growing up, there is, and I will say, a definition for for both of them. So please read this definition.
Verse 27, and the youths grew up, and Esau was a man who understood hunting, a man of the field, whereas Jacob was an innocent man dwelling in tents.
I think that last Friday was the first time that I saw a good translation for the definition of Jacob, okay? To say innocent man, it's not exactly describing Jacob. I think that the better word is to be, let me find it for a moment. I wrote it down for myself to speak about this here in the, just a moment, I will find it. Last week, in Tuesday, Wednesday, I wrote it down to myself, okay? Let me see this for a moment. I'll try to find the exact word. Wholehearted. Again, it's two words. Whole-hearted, heart. But it's one word, okay? Wholehearted, not innocent. Innocent is someone that didn't do any problem. When you want to judge him, he's innocent. He didn't kill someone, okay? Innocent is also to be without any, I will say, problems. It's not the same. Wholehearted is something else. Is where you really fine-tuning yourself connected with God. Let me jump for a moment to another place, and then we'll understand exactly what is Jacob, and then we'll also understand what is Esau. Okay, what is the differences between those two? For this, we need to jump to verses in Deuteronomy. Sorry, okay, Deuteronomy. In verses of Deuteronomy, it's let me find that I'm doing it in the right place. Just a moment. Let me look. I'm looking on the book. Okay, finding it on the book. In the book. 18, chapter 18. Okay, let's be in the right place. And here we need to read a bit of a. Okay. We need to read from verse 9 till verse 13.
Okay, Deuteronomy 18, verse 9. When you have come to the land the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not learn to do like the abominations of those nations. There shall not, one second.
Bless you.
Oh, I get dust on my mic cover. There shall not be found among you anyone who passes his son or daughter through fire, a soothsayer, a diviner of auspicious times, one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or a charmer, or a pithom sorcerer, a yidao sorcerer, or a necromancer. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord your God is driving them out before you. Be wholehearted with the Lord your God.
This is a word. This is a word. You see, be wholehearted. Be relying on God. What is the difference between God and all those things that is being written down here? Those are all sorts of ideas how to understand, I will say, the future. Most of those things are fake. Most of the people that are doing those things are doing fake things. But there is also some truth inside there. And there are people who have, I will say, the capabilities, the strength, the powers, the spiritual powers to do things like that are not allowed according to the Jewish tradition, according to the Jewish people, to go to those people. And because that the people in Israel did those things, it is one of the reasons why God is taking them out from this land. And He's giving us this land to us. And we need to be wholehearted with God. This word wholehearted is exactly the word tamim that is being described for Jacob. So if Jacob is a wholehearted one, what is Esau? All the things that we said here. Okay, I will share. I will even show one of the things that is written down here that is really clear that it's like that. Okay, in verse number 10. Okay, it says. It says, just a moment, I need to jump again to the window where it is, because again, it's not, I don't really like those translations. Let me find, this is the word that I'm looking for, okay, menachesh. Menachesh is nachash, okay, or what we call serpent, what we call this is one of the ways, okay, how to find the future not in the right way. Let me try to look in another book, the translations. Okay, let me see for a moment. See, here it is. Here's another book. Let me see how did It's being translated here. Okay, just a minute. I will look in two places. We have here all the Bible, right? Just a moment. Let me look for a moment. I'm sorry. Maybe I will find the right word. It's basically not relying on God, okay? But I will explain why I'm saying about Asaph that he was someone like that. It is. He's speaking about verse 18. You know what he's saying here? Astrologer. You know the astrologers? You know that they're writing down always, yes. You know the astrologers? You know them? This is what he's saying here. Okay, fair enough. It could be someone like that also. Basically, what I want to say, there are two ways how to look or how to live in this world, in our world. One way is to be wholehearted with God. I don't know exactly what will be the continuous, okay? I will speak about myself now, okay? We are all here, even though it's in the internet, and it's another 2 weeks. It's 1 year since my mother passed away and died, went to the other world. I don't know if you remember everything. I'm not sure. I said it, but I don't know. You don't need to remember all of what I'm going to say now. But it was just before the beginning of the year, Rosh Hashanah, that she went. She got an attack at her head or something, and she went into a coma. The doctor said that she will live another week or something like that, and then she will pass away. And it took something like almost 3 months since then, okay, until she passed away. 3 months, because the doctors, with all of the respect to the doctors, they are not deciding when to take life and when to, they can assume things, but they don't know. And they said to me, by the way, we were sure that it will take a week. It took you 3 months until she passed away. In those days, it was very hard days for my father, for us, for the kids, me and my brothers and sisters. And we did a lot of, we were much more with our father and with the family. We know. We didn't want to know what's happening and when it will happen. It will stop. We wanted to ask a lot of people, a lot of things. We wanted to know what's happening. We were in an uncertainty situation. And when someone is coming to an uncertainty situation, he is trying to find where he can be stable. So he's going to all sorts of people that are trying to tell him, or that he thinks that they can tell him what to do and what is going to bring him to be in more certainty. But this is not a way of wholehearted with God. It's not the way that the Hebrew nation is working. Okay? Let's jump to Noahide. Noahide are not allowed to go to those places. They are allowed. Well, let me surprise you. It's something that is forbidden for the Hebrew people. It's not forbidden for Noahide. Are you asking me if it's a proper conduct to behave by searching those things in those places? No, the answer is no. But there is a difference between not proper conduct and something that is not allowed. Those are two different things.
Isn't it a machloket?
No, there isn't any machloket about this.
About sorcery?
The Maimonides is stating clear and loud that in the Talmud there is a question, okay, if it's allowed or not allowed, but it's only in the Talmud. At the end, there is a way how to paskin, how to put it on the ground of behavior, and there isn't any machloket about this.
But
Why
if you
are we
go that
saying
way,
what?
but if you go that way, it will take you away from God. I've been there, done that.
Oh, now I want to go inside to something that this is all of the things here until here were more or less a preparation for that. Because I want to jump now to someone that was the main servant of Abraham, that Abraham relied on him, and Abraham appreciated him, and Abraham even said maybe he need to be my continuous, and God said to him, no, Isaac will be. Okay, and this is Eliezer, the servant of Abraham. And if we remember, when he went to find the woman for Isaac, let's read for a moment, and we will see that he did something that is very similar to all of those, I will say, trying to find the certainty through those ways that we are saying here that are not allowed. Okay, let's jump there and let's see it. So let me show you again. Let's go there, and we're going to read it inside. Okay, so it will be clear. Not 18 before. Sorry, you're more than right. Yes, I didn't understand why it's not going to the right place. In Genesis, it's 22, maybe 24. 24, I think. See? Yeah, you see? 24. So wasn't clear. Thank you very much, as you said, Bereshit. Okay? And here, Abraham, that is already in old days, and he's taking his servant, his main servant, and he's bringing him to a situation that he is doing a vow that he is not going to take out Isaac from Israel, from the Holy Land, but he's going to bring a lady from the family of Abraham from back far away from those places, okay, from the place of his birthplace. And then his servant is taking all the camels and all the things. Now let's read for a moment verses 10, 11, and 12.
All right, 10. And the servant took 10 camels of his master's camels, and he went, and all the best of his master was in his hand. And he arose, and he went to Aram Naharaim, to the city of Nahor, and he made the camels kneel outside the city beside the well of water at eventide, at the time the maidens go out to draw water. And he said, O Lord, the God of my master Abraham, please cause to happen to me today and perform loving kindness with my master Abraham.
Please cause happen to me today. This is exactly the words of I'm relying on something that what will happen. And I'm doing some sort of a sign. If this or this will happen, she is a good woman for my servant. If she's not, it's not a good woman for my servant. But this is exactly, I will say, some sort of a way of doing it. And this is also what's happening, okay? He is saying, please read verse number 14.
14. And it will be that the maiden to whom I will say, lower your pitcher, and I will drink, and she will say, drink, and I will also water your camels. Her have you designated for your servant, for Isaac, and through her may I know that you have performed loving kindness with my master.
And what's happening is that, please read 15 and 16 also.
15. Now he had not yet finished speaking, and behold, Rebekah came out, who had been born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abram's brother, and her pitcher was on her shoulder. Now the maiden was
we can jump to 17.
All right,
18.
and the servant ran toward her, and he said, please let me sip a little water from your pitcher. In 18 she said, drink, my lord, and she hastened and lowered her pitcher to her hand, and she gave him to drink. And she finished giving him to drink, and she said, I will also draw for your camels until they have finished drinking.
And then after that, in 21 and 22.
The man was astonished at her, standing silent, waiting to know whether the Lord had caused his way to prosper or not.
And he is giving her a lot of presents in 22 before he's trying to understand who she is. Right? Look, in 22, he's giving her.
He's emotional for sure. Yeah, over anxious.
He's giving her a lot of things, and then he's asking her in 23, whose daughter are you? What I'm trying to say is basically what happened with the Eliezer, the servant of Abraham, and our sages are saying it. Okay, that he did some sort of a First of all, we need to understand what he did. Okay, in a moment I will go explain this a bit more. But he basically he relied on something that is not it's not wholehearted with God. He did signs. He did some sort of a sign. Said, if I'm asking someone that I want to drink, and she also will give my camels. Do you know how much a camel is drinking? Not one. Yeah, 10 camels. You know how much camel is drinking? Camel is drinking a lot. Okay? And he said, there is something very reasonable with what he asked. He asked, you hear me twice? I'm sorry. The camel, he said, if she have a good heart, that she will be, give more blessing than what I'm asking. So she is really someone that could be matching to the house of Abraham, that is giving a lot to people around. Fair enough, but it's not. He didn't behave in a way that he prayed to God, that bringing Rebecca in front of him in the right way. Sages are saying that he did some sort of this, what we call nichush, okay? But on the other side, if you read it again, all the verses, you will see that he is praying to God. So he's doing a sign that is a reasonable sign for Abraham on one side, but he is praying to God all the time that will guide him in the right way. And this is maybe the difference. And when we saying, and this is what you said, Angelica, before, or also Jacob asked, it's forbidden for the Hebrew people to behave like that. But if you are non-Jewish or Noahide, it's not a proper conduct to behave in this way. But if you're doing something in a reasonable way, and you still rely on God, and you understand that God is the one who is showing you the way, and God is the one who is leading you, so it's okay. Now it's a bit hard because nobody can really research your heart. It's your decision what to do with your heart. Nobody can see that. It's between you and God. It's very similar to what one of the great rabbis that we had in the last century in the United States, that he said that the Noahide are not allowed to do anything, okay, but they are allowed to pray. Why? Because when you pray to God and you ask from him to be healed, or you ask from him to have funds for your life, so basically you're accepting on yourself to God, but no one really can know what's happening inside. I will tell you a story that happened in the last month, okay? I don't know if you remember that. There are 2 short courses in the site. I'm calling them the gates courses, okay? People that don't know what is Noahide, they see those courses and they want them, and they're learning those courses. It's half an hour, of audio, a bit of video, that's it, not more than that. One of them is how to pray, okay? How the Jewish people are praying. And you can see this on the site. It's okay. It's very clear in the beginning. But we did there a trick. I can tell you, you're not from the Indian side. We did there a trick, okay? One of the things that we're saying there is that because we are eating, and we are eating vegetables, and we are eating also meat, think about this for a moment, okay? When we are eating a cow, so the cow is becoming part of us, and when we are praying, also the part of the cow that is inside us is also praying to God. So basically what we're doing, we're taking those components of the nature here around us, putting inside our body, and we are becoming, I will say, the messenger for the nature here to pray to God. Because the cow doesn't have the ability to speak. So he doesn't have the ability, the cows, to pray to God. Also, the vegetables doesn't have the ability to speak. How do they have the ability to speak? To us, the human being. Okay? So it's important that we are eating cows, and because of that, but what we did there, we wrote down on this paragraph, on this chapter, this 7 minutes of listening, we said, how can we represent God? We're eating them. And basically what we're saying is because we're eating them, we are representing them. Okay? So someone from the Indian community started to nudge us that he became a Noahide, he believes in Noahide, whatever it is. And so and he wants us to do this, to do that, whatever it is. So we said to him, when I don't know someone, when we don't know someone, we're giving him those 2 courses, learn them, speak with us, so we'll have the same, I will say, at least the minimum common, basic background together, so we can start to speak one with each other. He wanted to build up a group by him and everything else. So we gave him those 2 courses, and he came back to us after 2 days and he said, I can't eat cows because I'm worshipping the cows. So we said to him, okay, so if you're worshipping cows, so you're not a Noahide. It can't be together. Okay, you can't worship idol the cows and to say to us, well, I'm a Noahide. So you have different interests. It's okay, but it's not with us. Do it with others, But this is something that we implemented inside those short courses. A few things so we can define, we can understand if people went out from the Noahide or didn't. This issue of relying on signs, okay, not taking 100% of doing astrology as the path of life, the way of life, all the time to go to the astrologists, to go, but to do some signs. If you do this in the right way, and you rely on God, as it's written down also in Genesis, there in chapter that we saw now in chapter 24, okay, that he is all the time saying, God, please show me the way. I will do a test, but please help me with this test. The test is reasonable. It's related with the ideas of Abraham, that he's doing a lot of good things to people and doing more than what he's being asked, okay, just like what I did with Rebecca. At the end, he knows that it's Rebecca, okay, but that he's asking her a bit of water to drink, and she's giving it also to the camels. It's a lot of work there, but she's doing it, so it's a sign. But all the time he's saying, I'm trusting God that will lead me to the right way. So for the Noahide, it's not the proper conduct to live your life in a way that you're all the time looking for the astrologists and other things. On the other side, if you're doing a sign that is a reasonable sign that is related with the things, for example, I want to go I will say to another place far away, but so I'm saying to myself, if I will find the bus, the taxi, the way of driving there in an easy way, okay, if I will miss it, I won't go this day, I will go another day. It's some sort of a sign that you can say to yourself, it's reasonable, okay, I will say it like that. And you're saying, you're asking God to lead you, it's another thing. And this is something that we learn here now. It's hidden inside, but it's written down. And Jacob, what you ask in the Talmud is a question: how much a Noahide is allowed to do or to look on those things. At the end, the halachic side and the Maimonides is very clear. And this is what, by the way, not only the Maimonides, also the Ramban, okay, Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman. The halachic side is, it's not forbidden for Noahide, but you need to be with the inside of you to remember to rely on God. I'm saying another thing that we need to ask ourselves: why in the timings, in the time that we don't feel certainty, we're going out from focus? Question that we need to ask ourselves. A lot of times when people are not feeling the full certainty and full, I will say, control of life, we're losing it. We are losing it. I had an interesting also session with someone that she said to me very nicely, I am a helicopter mother. I can't see that my kids will do things that I'm not controlling them. And it's not good. It's not good, not for you and not for them. Okay, but why do we need to have this control of life all the time? How come we can't release a bit? And it might bring us to other opportunities that we didn't thought before. And to trust a bit of God, God is guiding us, He's helping us. A lot of times we find that people, if they don't have full control on their life, they're losing it. It's hard for them. And there are times of uncertainty. There are times, for example, that God forbidden, our father is in a very bad situation, or our mother is in a very bad situation, and it's putting us to uncertainty in a hectic time, and we need to be more connected with the brothers or with our sisters, with the family, more rely on our families. Those are times like that. And when we're passing those times, or I'm just giving an example, okay, it could be in other things. That now we're not controlling everything. But when we know, I would say, to release a bit and to be wholehearted with God, we will find that sometimes He is giving us, I will say, gaps. He's helping us to jump to the other side, to the other stage where we are. If there are any questions until now, please, this is the time. If not, I will continue with more things, but please, yes.
If you have a double standard, it will never work for you. You cannot be in teacup reading and stuff and be a Noahide. That is impossible. I've been there, done that. You can't go there. It is a no for Noahides on my end, my opinion. You can't. It doesn't work. It's either Hashem, or you can't dabble in. I mean, you can't dabble in the other. It won't work. I've tried it. So
right. It's not authentic.
What I can say.
Yeah, you've got to be authentic in your approach, and if you're authentic and wholehearted, it makes all the difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for a Noahide, I would say, for me, that's a definite no to go there, because it will take you away from Hashem.
Look,
I mean, there's a whole story on that. But anyways, just to mention that.
I got one question, Rabbi.
Just a moment. I'm with you. Just a moment. Oh, first of all, I don't want to be to say anything against the words that you said, Angelica, because also when I said, okay, that if you doing something like that, but you need to be full-hearted with God, so I agree with you 100%. And if there are people that they will start to do this, because I know that in the Christian world, it is very much like that. So it might be that for those who went out from the Christianity, it's very good for them not to be in this way at all. I agree. I want to show this also. But I'm saying you need to remember that if someone is doing it, it's not that he is overruling the Noahide, especially if he's still staying with God. So let me read for a moment what we wrote in the Brit Shalom. Okay, with your permission, let me share this for a moment, and then I will have your question, Jacob. Okay, please, with your permission. Just a moment, let me find the exact one. Here it is. Dan, please read 26.
All right, 26. Jews are forbidden to predict the future by means of magic, to bring about a change in nature through casting spells, to raise the spirits of the dead and communicate with them, spiritualism, or to practice witchcraft in any of its forms. The Torah called these and similar activities an abomination to the Lord, as we read in Deuteronomy 18. As it is stated, go in perfect trust with the Lord your God. It is also improper for Noahides to occupy themselves with these activities, even though they are not forbidden according to Noahide law. And that's really improper versus forbidden is a different thing, but it's still improper.
I'm saying it's improper, and I understand exactly what Angelica is saying, especially when you go out from Christianity. And in Christianity, it's a big issue. I know that. Okay, so it's for sure. It's the best not to be in this side at all. But we need to remember, it's very important also that we're not allowed. I will say like that. Okay, go to India. And there, I think it will be much more restricted not to be in this way. because there it's even you can't even imagine how much they are relying on those nonsense. Sorry about what I'm saying. It's not even starting to, you can't even compare this to what's happening in the Christianity. But again, I'm saying another very important point, and I said it also before. The reason why people are going to those places is because when they're feeling uncertainty, something there is starting to shake them, and this is something that we need to work on ourselves. Because if I know that God is rolling this world and is controlling this world, and is also guiding, especially those who are walking, on the path of God, and He is helping them. So we need also on the times that we are in an uncertainty situation to rely on God, and it will be good, and it will be in the best way for us, for what's happening, and not to forget that this is not I will say this world is only the gate for the world to come. Even if God forbid something will happen until the end of the end, of this world. But it's only, we said it more than once, like someone that is going out from his mother's womb and is afraid what will happen in the other world outside there. It's not warm, and I won't get food, and I need to chase the food. But he's going to a greater world, a bigger world. And the same thing is happening. So I'm not saying, God forbid, no one is supposed to go straight ahead to get God forbid, killed. But when we're in a stage, or when we're in a time of uncertainty, not to straight ahead to run to those places that are trying to give us a certainty to our imagination. Part of it is I will say, sense that people want just money, and even if it's a bit true, it's only a bit true. It's not the full truth. It's not the full truth. Jacob, what you wanted to ask, please?
Oh, just it says they were expelled. The 7 nations were expelled for practicing these things, and I understand Ramban says it's the fate of the 7 nations. It's not for all Noahide, but the land of Israel cannot tolerate this type of behavior because it's a high level of kedusha, holiness. So, since one of the goals of Bnei Noach is to come to Israel, it's a good idea to not do that there.
You're more than right. To do it here in Israel, it's twice a month the problem. And it's also was written down in the things that we read in Deuteronomy, that one of the reasons that God took them out from here, old Canaan people, is because they did all of those things. And in Israel, it's much harder to do those things because it's the home of God, of the Almighty. Okay, I will say it like that. When Angelica have a very nice place that you can be there, you can visit there. But you won't go to Angelica, start do a lot of things that is forbidden in our place. You will respect her, right? And the same thing. Israel is the God's place that He is living here. Okay, I will say it like that. His home. He's inviting all the people from the world to come to visit Him at His home. Don't do things that are against His will. Not in Israel. Be careful. It's a time to say maybe. I'm sorry for the double noise. Sorry. But it's a time to say that a year from now, we intend of doing, so I'm speaking about November, a year from now, we intend of doing a very big conference for Noahide from all over the world. So soon, another month and a half, it will be also published and everything, and all the exact days. I can, by the way, I can say the exact week, but if you want to write it down to yourself, and it's enough time to start to, I will call it to think about those days and everything. Let me look for a moment. I will give you the exact day, the exact week, okay, that we're speaking about. November, just a moment. It will be on the first week of November. Okay? There will be a big conference here, and we'll have also 2 or 3 days of also some hikes and some really conference also. From all over the world, people will come. At the first week of November next year. Again, we'll publish everything. We're preparing everything, so we'll publish everything. But we're going to do a very big conference. Hopefully, it will be after the full war. It will be after, we won't have Corona anymore, not war anymore. We will be able to do a conference here with people from all over the world. And think about this for a moment. That it will be the first. We will establish the Noahide movement for all over the world. Woo! But you can come also with your wife, you're invited. We're accepting all people from the Noahide. I know that there will be people that will come, and there will be only, I'm sure that there will be also others, not only from the Noahide, but we will have also the Noahide, and you're all invited. So write to yourself and start to think about this, and you can start to think with people that will be able to come. It's enough time. By the way, Dan, if I remember correctly, this week, 3 years ago, I was in your. We came to your conference. It was 3 years ago.
Yes, that was exciting. Yeah, it was glad to have you here. Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while. I just had a longtime friend of 50 years pass away this week, and I have to attend a memorial in August in Ontario, so that was unexpected. I know Angelica wanted to go next fall to Jerusalem, so I have to weigh it all out. But at least if you put the dates and everything down, I'll work towards it and see if we can make it happen. Yeah, definitely would love to come to Jerusalem, and yeah.
For me, it will be more than an honor. Okay, also you will also have a bit of a time in my place. Yeah, we'll organize something. I owe you all of you. Fair enough.
Hashem,
are there any more questions or something? If it's okay.
Martina,
I have a question about the USA and Esav. I hear people connect the Esav to USA, and I'm an American, so I'm not 100% convinced, but it's a Christian nation. That's true, but it's also very diverse. So,
look, I will answer like that. I will give you a few points. Okay, I know that we are on the internet, but I will say those words. First of all, Esav is basically Rome and the Christianity in Rome is Esav. Okay? And what you see today is that I will say another point, a very important point. Okay? My parents, both of them came from the United States. Let's be honest. Okay, they went from Europe. Okay? My mother's side came from Germany, my father's side came from Lithuania, but they went, and my parents grew up in the United States, and they came from the United States to Israel. But we can't ignore the situation that the empire that is leading today the Christianity world is the United States. And when in our parsha, what we said, one of the things that I mentioned, and I didn't went inside too much to that, is that in what we read yesterday in the parsha, that when Rome is up, Israel is not 100% up. Okay, when Israel is 100% up, so Rome is not 100% up. Now, one of the things that Trump is doing, and it's good for Trump, for the United States, is make America great again. As we all know that, the MAGA, make America great again. And when he came here he's a good ally of Israel, and he's trying his best. But when he came here to Israel, and he spoke in a very, I listened to everything, okay? He spoke very nice inside the Parliament of Israel. and he said great things, and he's really doing his best, so we will manage. But he said, but don't win until the end of the end, Don't go too much with winning, because if you will win and you will manage to demolish the full badness of this world, so you will be great, and then America won't be able to be great again, because it's all America or us. Don't go 90%. Don't go 100%. He said it. So you're asking me, at this point of time, we are doing our best to defeat the badness of this world. And the badness, unfortunately, is the Arabs who are trying to kill all those who don't believe like them. And it's true. I don't know if you know, I got today a short video in Germany that he's saying in Arabic. It's amazing. But he's saying, this guy in Arabic, saying, thank you, Germany, that you brought us inside. But in another 20 years, there won't be any Christians here. We, the Arabics, you are not giving birth, you're not giving kids. We, the Arabics, we are going to be here in Germany, and you're not going to be Germany. And they're saying that they're doing it, like in the time of the Crusades, that they're going to occupy all of Europe. I'm going to write down this week, hopefully, I don't know if you know, but in Stockholm, I think it was, in one of the, I will find it because I'm going to send also the video with this. They are judging one of the parliament ladies that said that the family is husband and wife and not 2 boys or 2 girls. So they're judging her. And they want to give her a big fee and they want to put her in jail. Basically, they are judging the Bible. If you will think about this, they're judging the Bible. So, and I'm not going inside on the personal level. Okay, if someone is behaving in a personal way, in one way, it's one thing. But if you're saying as a statement, as a full nation, okay, or as a full, I will say, culture, that we are stopping of living in the way that the Bible taught us, husband and wife. Basically, what we're saying, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah. We came to the age of, that we don't need to bring any more destinies. We don't need to bring any more kids. Now, it's not that people are not bringing kids; they're also doing it in other ways. Okay, when they're living, but it's a statement of the society today, of the modern society, of the modern, I will say, liberation of the European, not European, the modern world. That okay, now let's go to Japan, for example. Let's speak about Japan. They have 60 million people, but do you know that in the last year, more people died than they gave birth in Japan? 1 million more people died than people that gave birth. So this year, they are not 60 million people, they are 59 million people. What will happen in another 60 years if they will continue like that? What will happen? There won't be Japan. You can't say something like that. But this is the way that they're going. What's happening in all of Europe? Basically, the numbers are very, very sad. It's not a coincidence that they brought inside a lot of the Muslims to assist with youngest, I will say, generations.
Okay, Rabbi, can I add one question?
Yes.
So Esav didn't want to be circumcised, so he said no to circumcision. But in the U.S., 64% of men are circumcised.
It's not a question. It isn't good. First of all, I think that in the United States, there are, if I will say, in category, in big way, not the resolutions, but there are mainly 4 main groups, I will say it like that. And there is, I will say, the left side, it's one group. There is also the Christianity in few ways, okay? I will say there are 2 main ways of the Christianity, and there is also those, listen good, Jacob, that left Christianity, but they are still religious. I will say they still want to stick with the ideas of the Bible, okay, with the values of the Bible, okay, and those people, they basically supposed to become Noahide at the end, because they have a rebellion with the Christianity. On the other side, they don't have any rebellion with the Bible. Now, it's not a question of circumcision or yes or not. It's a question of way of life. Okay? And what I'm saying is also in the United States, not everybody is 100% Christian, and not everybody is 100% leftist. There's also a very large group. I did a research about this in the last few months. Okay? There's a very, very large group of people that are very interested with the values of the Hebrew nation of the Bible, and they have a rebellion from the Christianity. There is a good future, okay, to the United States. Don't be upset. It is true, like also Vincent is writing here, the jihad demographic, for example. And I think that people need to ask themselves, what happened that youngest kids from Europe, okay, from the Christian world, went to ISIS. We're not speaking about one or two. What happened there? What are the values that they lost? Why the youngest people in Europe are looking to find the values in the jihad of the ISIS? What's really happening? The world is a bit, I will say, unstable. Now, I'm not saying that all of the United States was going to be, Asaph, Christians. The world is going to become more and more Noahide, okay? They're going to rebuild from the Christianity, and they're going to rebuild also from the jihad side. By the way, don't get confused. The jihad side in the Arabic world is less than 15%. And the 85% is not jihad. They're not screaming today, they're not, some of them afraid, whatever it is. And we have a lot of connections with those people. But also the Arabic world is not going to stay jihadist. And we're going to demolish them also. The world is going to the better place. But now we are, I would say, in a stage that is a bit, there are times that we moving from one stage to another. Go to the last century, Jacob, and learn the history of the years of the Second World War. I'm speaking about 10 years more or less, or even a bit more, from 1933, since Hitler went, okay, to become the government, until 1943, 10 years. Those 10 years, there was a very big shake in all of the world, not only in Europe. We are today also in a world that is a bit shaken up. There is, I think what will happen at the end, there's a good history to the world. Okay, we believe as Jewish, there is a good history to the world. But today we also need to remember, for example, I will give another example. I wrote it down, but I can say it also loud and clear. The Zionist Christians, that they really like the Hebrew nation. But why? What is the interest behind the scenes? What are they doing? The main thing that they want that we will be strong. So Joshua, and not Joshua, saying that yes, that Jesus will come back and we will become Christians. It's not the same like the religious journalists. It is honest, okay? But we can do with them allies today. It's a strong group, but it's not the majority of the group in the United States. The United States have a good future. Okay, Jacob, don't be so afraid. But we need to work on it. We need to bring more and more people inside to the Noahide mindset as part of the next state of the world. And it's supposed to be connected with Jerusalem. Those are the two things. If we will speak like that, it will be very good for the people around.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay.
Excellent. So that it for
Jacob,
today, Rabbi?
Okay. Fair enough. You know how to catch me also on a private level.
Right. I think so. The message today is be wholehearted and authentic in everything that you do. And especially if you want to be associated as a B'nai Noach, you've got to live. And I was chatting with our friend Lara down who deals with the Turkish people, and yeah, they seem so superficial, and yeah, they're just not connecting on that. So I tried to encourage her to read the Rambam and the difference between the wise of the nations and the pious of the nations, and teach some piety. The point being that there is a difference between being a Noahide because you accept the 7 laws, but being a righteous person has its place, and that's something to strive for. And I think wholeheartedness has everything to do with it in your sphere of influence. Definitely be the best you can be to live a full life, and don't be skittish out there. Be genuine. And Rabbi, so are we aiming for next week?
Yes, of course. It will be a pleasure to continue on, and we will learn more and more things.
So those of you in the Zoom or
this week ahead,
in the Google Meets room, it's the same link. So save that somewhere, and let's aim for next week. So on that note, I will sign out for today. Thank you so much, Rabbi. Always a joy to see you and hear your messages, and I look forward to hearing more about next November's conference in Jerusalem. And we'll see if we can diarize it and make it work. So till next week, folks, we're going to sign out for today. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.